Personal life, early relationships. In 1969, Schwarzenegger met Barbara Outland, later Barbara Outland Baker, an English teacher with whom he lived until 1974. The couple first met 6 to 8 months after his arrival in the US. Their first date was watching the first Apollo moon landing on television. They shared an apartment in Santa Monica, California, for 3.5 years, and having little money, they would visit the beach all day or have barbecues in the backyard. Although Baker claims that when she first met Schwarzenegger, he had little understanding of polite society, and she found him a turn-off. She says, "He's as much a self-made man as it's possible to be. He never got encouragement from his parents, his family, his brother. He just had this huge determination to prove himself, and that was very attractive. I'll go to my grave knowing Arnold loved me." Schwarzenegger said of Baker in his 1977 memoir, "Basically, it came down to this: she was a well-balanced woman who wanted an ordinary, solid life, and I was not a well-balanced man, and hated the very idea of ordinary life." Baker has described Schwarzenegger as a joyful personality, totally charismatic, adventurous, and athletic, but claims that towards the end of the relationship he became insufferable classically, conceded the world revolved around him. Baker published her memoir in 2006, entitled Arnold and Me, In the Shadow of the Austrian Oak. Although Baker painted an unflattering portrait of her former lover at times, Schwarzenegger actually contributed to the tell-all book with a foreword, and also met with Baker for 3 hours. Baker claims that she only learned of his being unfaithful after they split, and talks of a turbulent and passionate love life. Schwarzenegger has made it clear that their respective recollection of events can differ. Schwarzenegger met his next lover, Beverly Hills hairdresser's assistant Sue Morey, on Venice Beach in July 1977. According to Morey, the couple led an open relationship. "We were faithful when we were both in LA, but when he was out of town, we were free to do whatever we wanted." Schwarzenegger met television journalist Maria Shriver, niece of President John F. Kennedy, at the Robert F. Kennedy tennis tournament in August 1977. He went on to have a relationship with both Morey and Shriver until August 1978, when Morey, who knew of his relationship with Shriver, issued an ultimatum. Marriage and family. On April 26, 1986, Schwarzenegger married Shriver in Hyannis, Massachusetts. They have 4 children: Catherine, 1989, Christina, 1991, Patrick, 1993, and Christopher, 1997. The family lived in an 11,000 square foot, 1,000 m2 home in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, California, with vacation homes in Sun Valley, Idaho, and Hyannis Port, Massachusetts. They attended St. Monica's Catholic Church. Divorce. On May 9, 2011, Shriver and Schwarzenegger ended their relationship after 25 years of marriage, with Shriver moving out of their Brentwood mansion. Pursuant to the divorce judgment, Schwarzenegger kept the Brentwood home, while Shriver purchased a new home nearby so that the children could travel between their parents' homes. They shared custody of the 2 youngest children. Schwarzenegger came under fire after the initial petition did not include spousal support and a reimbursement of attorney's fees. However, he claims this was not intentional and that he signed the initial documents without having properly read them. He filed amended divorce papers remedying this. Schwarzenegger and Shriver finalized their divorce in 2021, 10 years after separating. In June 2022, a jury ruled that Maria Shriver was entitled to half of her ex-husband's post-divorce savings that he earned from 1986 to 2011, including a pension. On May 16, 2011, the Los Angeles Times revealed that Schwarzenegger had fathered a son, Joseph, more than 14 years earlier with an employee in their household, Mildred Patricia Patty Baena. "After leaving the governor's office, I told my wife about this event, which occurred over a decade ago," Schwarzenegger said to the Times. In the statement, Schwarzenegger did not mention that he had confessed to his wife only after she had confronted him with the information, which she had done after confirming with the housekeeper what she had suspected about the child. Baena is of Guatemalan origin. She was employed by the family for 20 years and retired in January 2011. The pregnant Baena was working in the home while Shriver was pregnant with the youngest of the couple's 4 children. Baena's son with Schwarzenegger was born 5 days after Shriver gave birth. Schwarzenegger said that it took 7 or 8 years before he found out that he had fathered a child with his housekeeper. It was not until the boy started looking like him that he put things together. Schwarzenegger has taken financial responsibility for the child from the start and continued to provide support. Nanks 1070 Radio reported that, in 2010, he bought a new 4-bedroom house with a pool for Baena and their son in Bakersfield, California. Baena separated from her husband, Rogelio, a few months after Joseph's birth. She filed for divorce in 2008. Rogelio said that the child's birth certificate was falsified and that he planned to sue Schwarzenegger for engaging in conspiracy to falsify a public document, a serious crime in California. When asked in January 2014, "Of all the things you are famous for, which are you least proud of?" Schwarzenegger replied, "I'm least proud of the mistakes I made that caused my family pain and split us up. Accidents, injuries, and other health problems." Schwarzenegger was born with a bicuspid aortic valve, an aortic valve with only 2 leaflets, where a normal aortic valve has 3. He opted in 1997 for a replacement heart valve made from his own pulmonary valve, which itself was replaced with a cadaveric pulmonic valve. In a Ross procedure, medical experts predicted he would require pulmonic heart valve replacement surgery within the next 2 to 8 years, because his valve would progressively degrade. Schwarzenegger apparently opted against a mechanical valve, the only permanent solution available at the time of his surgery, because it would have sharply limited his physical activity and capacity to exercise. On March 29, 2018, Schwarzenegger underwent emergency open heart surgery for replacement of his replacement pulmonic valve. He said about his recovery, "I underwent open heart surgery this spring. I had to use a walker. I had to do breathing exercises 5 times a day to retrain my lungs. I was frustrated and angry, and in my worst moments, I couldn't see the way back to my old self." In 2020, 23 years after his first surgery, Schwarzenegger underwent a surgery for a new aortic valve. Accidents and injuries. On December 9, 2001, he broke 6 ribs and was hospitalized for 4 days after a motorcycle crash in Los Angeles. Schwarzenegger saved a drowning man in 2004 while on vacation in Hawaii by swimming out and bringing him back to shore. On January 8, 2006, while Schwarzenegger was riding his Harley-Davidson motorcycle in Los Angeles with his son Patrick in the sidecar, another driver backed into the street he was riding on, causing him and his son to collide with the car at a low speed. While his son and the other driver were unharmed, Schwarzenegger sustained an injury to his lip requiring 15 stitches. "No citations were issued," said Officer Jason Lee, a Los Angeles Police Department spokesman. Schwarzenegger did not obtain his motorcycle license until July 3, 2006. Schwarzenegger tripped over his ski pole and broke his right femur while skiing in Sun Valley, Idaho, with his family on December 23, 2006. On December 26th, he underwent a 90-minute operation in which cables and screws were used to wire the broken bone back together. He was released from St. John's Hospital and Health Center on December 30, 2006. Schwarzenegger's private jet made an emergency landing at Van Nuys Airport on June 19, 2009, after the pilot reported smoke coming from the cockpit, according to a statement released by his press secretary. No one was harmed in the incident. On May 18, 2019, while on a visit to South Africa, Schwarzenegger was attacked and drop-kicked from behind by an unknown malefactor while giving autographs to his fans at one of the local schools. Despite the surprise and unprovoked nature of the attack, he reportedly suffered no injuries and continued to interact with fans. The attacker was apprehended and Schwarzenegger declined to press charges against him. Schwarzenegger was involved in a multi-vehicle collision on the afternoon of Friday, January 21st, 2022. Schwarzenegger was driving a black GMC Yukon SUV near the intersections of Sunset Boulevard and Allenford Avenue in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, when his vehicle collided with a red Toyota Prius. The driver of the Prius was transported to the hospital for injuries sustained to her head. Schwarzenegger was uninjured. Schwarzenegger's official height of 6'2" in 1.88 m has been brought into question by several articles. During his bodybuilding days in the late 1960s, it was claimed that he measured 1.5 in 1.867 m. However, in 1988, both the Daily Mail and Time Out magazine mentioned that Schwarzenegger appeared noticeably shorter. Prior to running for governor, Schwarzenegger's height was once again questioned in an article by the Chicago Reader. As governor, Schwarzenegger engaged in a light-hearted exchange with Assemblyman Herb Wesson over their heights. At one point, Wesson made an unsuccessful attempt to, in his own words, settle this once and for all and find out how tall he is by using a tailor's tape measure on the governor. Schwarzenegger retaliated by placing a pillow stitched with the words "need a lift" on the 5'5" 1.65 m, Wesson's chair before a negotiating session in his office. Democrat Bob Mulholland also claimed Schwarzenegger was 5'10" in 1.78 m and that he wore risers in his boots. In 1999, Men's Health magazine stated his height was 5'10" in 1.78 m. Autobiography, Schwarzenegger's autobiography Total Recall, was released in October 2012. He devotes one chapter called The Secret to his extramarital affair. The majority of his book is about his successes in the three major chapters in his life: bodybuilder, actor, and governor of California. Schwarzenegger released a second book in 2023 titled Be Useful: 7 Tools for Life, which features life advice and again touches on his life experiences. Vehicles. Growing up during Allied-occupied Austria, Schwarzenegger commonly saw heavy military vehicles such as tanks as a child. As a result, he paid $20,000 to bring his Austrian Army M47 Patton tank 331 to the United States, which he previously operated during his mandatory service in 1965. However, he later obtained his vehicle in 1991/2 during his tenure as the chairman of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, and now uses it to support his charity. His first car ever was an Opel Kadett in 1969, after serving in the Austrian Army. Then he rode a Harley-Davidson Fat Boy in 1991. Moreover, he came to develop an interest in large vehicles and became the first civilian in the US to purchase a Humvee. He was so enamored by the vehicle that he lobbied the Humvee's manufacturer, AM General, to produce a street-legal, civilian version, which they did in 1992. The first 2 Hummer H1s they sold were also purchased by Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger was in the news in 2014 for buying a rare Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport Vitesse. He was spotted and filmed in 2015 in his car, painted silver with bright aluminum forged wheels. His Bugatti has its interior adorned in dark brown leather. In 2017, Schwarzenegger acquired a Mercedes G-Class modified for all-electric drive. The Hummers that Schwarzenegger bought in 1992 are so large each weighs 6,300 L, 2,900 K, and is 7 feet, 2.1 m, wide that they are classified as large trucks. And US fuel economy regulations do not apply to them. During the gubernatorial recall campaign, he announced that he would convert one of his Hummers to burn hydrogen. The conversion was reported to have cost about $21,000. After the election, he signed an executive order to jumpstart the building of hydrogen refueling plants called the California Hydrogen Highway Network, and gained a United States Department of Energy grant to help pay for its projected US $91 million cost. California took delivery of the first H2 hydrogen Hummer in October 2004. Public image and legacy. Schwarzenegger has been involved with the Special Olympics for many years after they were founded in 1968 by his later mother-in-law Eunice Kennedy Shriver. In 2007, Schwarzenegger was the official spokesperson for the Special Olympics held in Shanghai, China. Schwarzenegger believes that quality school opportunities should be made available to children who might not normally be able to access them. In 1995, he founded the Inner City Games Foundation. ICE provides cultural, educational, and community enrichment programming to youth. ICE is active in 15 cities around the country and serves over 250,000 children in over 400 schools countrywide, 263. He has also been involved with After School All-Stars and founded the Los Angeles branch in 2002. ASIS is an after-school program provider, educating youth about health, fitness, and nutrition. On February 12, 2010, Schwarzenegger took part in the Vancouver Olympic torch relay. He handed off the flame to the next runner, Sebastian Coe. Schwarzenegger had a collection of Marxist busts, which he requested from Russian friends during the dissolution of the Soviet Union, as they were being destroyed. In 2011, he revealed that his wife had requested their removal, but he kept the one of Vladimir Lenin present, since he was the first. In 2015, he said he kept the Lenin bust to show losers. Schwarzenegger is a supporter of Israel and has participated in a Los Angeles pro-Israel rally among other similar events. In 2004, Schwarzenegger visited Israel to break ground on Simon Wiesenthal Center's Museum of Tolerance, Jerusalem, and to lay a wreath at the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial. He also met with Prime Minister Ariel Sharon and President Moshe Katsav. In 2011, at the Independence Day celebration hosted by the Israeli Consulate General in Los Angeles, Schwarzenegger said, "I love Israel. When I became governor, Israel was the first country that I visited. When I had the chance to sign a bill calling on California pension funds to divest their money from companies that do business with Iran, I immediately signed that bill." Then he added, "I knew that we could not send money to these crazy dictators who hate us and threaten Israel anytime they have a bad day." Schwarzenegger supported the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Schwarzenegger also expressed support for the 2011 military intervention in Libya. In 2014, Schwarzenegger released a video message in support of the Euromaidan protests against Ukraine's pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych. In 2022, Schwarzenegger released another video message condemning the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Schwarzenegger's Twitter account is one of the 22 accounts that the president of Russia's Twitter account follows. Schwarzenegger, who played football as a boy, grew up watching Bayern Munich and Sturm Graz. He also expressed his admiration of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool in October 2019. Schwarzenegger inspired many actors to become action heroes, including Dwayne Johnson, Matt McCallum, Christian Booving, Vidyut Jamwal, and Daniel Green. Booving's character in the 2003 action film When Eagles Strike was based on Schwarzenegger's image from the late 1980s, mostly on Major Dutch Schaefer from Predator, 1987, and Colonel John Matrix from Command, 1985. In 2012, Schwarzenegger helped to found the Schwarzenegger Institute for State and Global Policy, which is a part of the USC Price School of Public Policy at the University of Southern California. The Institute's mission is to advance post-partisanship, where leaders put people over political parties and work together to find the best ideas and solutions to benefit the people they serve and to seek to influence public policy and public debate in finding solutions to the serious challenges we face. Schwarzenegger serves as chairman of the Institute. Statue of Arnold Schwarzenegger, an 8-foot-tall, 2.4 m, 800 lab, 363 kg, bronze sculpture of Schwarzenegger performing his signature twisted double biceps pose designed by sculptor Ralph Crawford is located outside the Greater Columbus Convention Center, Columbus, Ohio, which is the venue of the annual Arnold Sports Festival. 2016 presidential election. For the 2016 Republican Party presidential primaries, Schwarzenegger endorsed fellow Republican John Kasich. However, he announced in October that he would not vote for the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in that year's United States presidential election, with this being the first time he did not vote for the Republican candidate since becoming a citizen in 1983. Post-2016 activism. Schwarzenegger participating in a video promoting wearing face masks during the COVID-19 pandemic. The video features appearances of all the living governors of California. In 2017, Schwarzenegger condemned white supremacists who were seen carrying Nazi and Confederate flags by calling their heroes losers. Following the January 6th United States Capitol attack by supporters of President Donald Trump, Schwarzenegger posted a video address on social media in which he likened the insurrection to Nazi Germany's Kristallnacht, which he described as a night of rampage against the Jews carried out by the Nazi equivalent of the Proud Boys. He spoke of his father's alcoholism, domestic violence and abuse, and how it was typical of other former Nazis and collaborators in the post-war era, and described Trump as a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst president ever. In late March 2021, Schwarzenegger was interviewed by Politico about the upcoming recall election in California, in which he said that it's pretty much the same atmosphere today as it was then. And when he was asked about Newsom's claim of this being a Republican recall, he responded that this recall effort is sparked by ordinary folks, and that this was not of a power grab by Republicans. Schwarzenegger has spoken out about COVID-19, urging Americans to wear masks and practice social distancing. In August 2021, he said, "There is a virus here. It kills people, and the only way we prevent it is get vaccinated, wear masks, do social distancing, washing your hands all the time, and not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom." On January 17th, 2024, Schwarzenegger was detained by German authorities after failing to claim an item to customs agents after landing in Munich. A spokesperson for the customs agency said that Schwarzenegger would face criminal tax proceedings because he failed to declare an item that originated in a country that is not a part of the European Union. The item in question was a watch manufactured by Audemars Piguet, a Swiss company. A spokesperson for Schwarzenegger said that he was never asked to fill out a declaration form, and he was compliant with officials upon his detainment. Schwarzenegger was held for 3 hours and was released after prepaying potential taxes. The watch was subsequently auctioned off at a dinner in Kitzbühel to raise funds for the Schwarzenegger Climate Initiative the next day, fetching €270,000. Diet, health, and climate change. At a 2015 security conference, Schwarzenegger called climate change the issue of our time and urged politicians to stop treating it as a political issue. Next, in 2016, he collaborated on a campaign by WildAid starring in the PSA Less Meat, Less Heat that encourages people to eat less meat as a means of combating climate change. In 2018, he appeared in and served as an executive producer alongside James Cameron et al. For the documentary The Game Changers. This film explores the rise of plant-based diets in professional sports. In February 2022, he said that he has been about 80% plant-based for the past 5 years of my life. He also says that while he occasionally still consumes smaller amounts of animal products, following a mostly plant-based diet is better for his overall health, and that James Cameron helped him to understand that it is better for the environment.